Hello and welcome to our channel. Um, I get asked a lot of times because I'm a businessman to speak at business functions and speak in front of business people or young boys, college boys, and in Malawi, Philippines, places like that. Because the basic principles of business don't change no matter where you are. It's the same in the UK, same in Europe, same in America, same in Malawi, same in the Philippines, same in Vietnam. There are companies who manufacture things, and their job, their business model is set up to sell as much as they can. Now, they don't want to sell one thing to one person. They want to sell to outlets and stores and malls and places like that, dealers, so that they sell 50 or 100 or 200 or 1,000 at a time of whatever it is they make. Now, when I'm talking to Malawians, I usually use the Ilovo sugar as an example. There's a store chain in Malawi called ShopRite, and their business model is to sell one bag of sugar or two at a time to individual customers. Now, the company that makes the Ilovo sugar, their business model is to sell a pallet load or 500 bags or 1,000 bags at a time to someplace like ShopRite. Now, the Ilovo Sugar Company knows that if ShopRite is buying more sugar, they're buying 1,000 bags at a time, they know they're going to have to give them a lower price so that ShopRite can raise the price and sell it retail to individuals. They understand that they're going to have to sell it at a lower price. That's the only way ShopRite can stay in business, and Ilovo can fulfill their business model by selling a large quantity at a time, which is what they want to do. So if you want to make business somewhere in a third world country or even in the US, if you find a wholesaler, a manufacturing company that makes something, they make a lot of it, they're willing to sell it cheap because you're willing to buy a lot of it, then you can get in between the customer who only wants to buy one and the manufacturer or wholesaler who has thousands of them and they want to sell a large bunch at a time. All you have to do, it's the same, it doesn't matter what the product is. I don't care if it's tires or suitcases or tomatoes or rubber bands, it doesn't make any difference what it is. There's always somebody who wants to buy just one or two, and there's always somebody who wants to sell 100 at a time or 1,000 at a time. And all you have to do is put yourself in between those two people. That's exactly the same no matter where you are, no matter what product it is. It doesn't make any difference. It's the same everywhere. Now, the other aspect of that is not retail if you're not selling a product, if you're selling a service. The service industry is really, really big. Things like carpenters and plumbers and landscapers and massage people and all that kind of stuff. Now, if you want to make good business doing something like that, you have two choices. You can decide to be a low-end person. You can do things cheap and you can cut corners every chance you get. And you can cheat people and you can use one bag of cement to 6 parts of sand instead of using 2 or 3 like you're supposed to. Excuse me. Or, on the other end of that, you can do absolutely the best job you can, the best job you know how to do for each and every customer. Now, what happens when you do that? I'll use myself as an example. We build houses in Malawi. Now, we build houses for ourselves. We don't build them to sell or anything like that. And if somebody comes and they're doing a good job for me, and I see that they're being careful and they're doing the best they can, then if they're producing quality work for me, then when I talk to other people who are building houses, other people who have, means and money to build houses and do things, then I'm going to mention, oh, this guy did a great job for me. I'm also going to mention if somebody cheated me, ripped me off, doesn't show up, or something like that. Or if they made cinder blocks for me and the cinder blocks are falling apart after 2 years, then that means they used too much sand and not enough concrete. Well, I know who I bought the blocks from. So I'm also going to tell people, hey, don't buy from this guy. Don't let this guy do your tile work because he's going to do this and this and this. So you have to decide if you're going to be in business for yourself, if you're going to do a service, then you have to decide which one of those you're going to be. Are you going to do the best job you can and have people talk good about you and sell your service for you by telling other people, hey, hire this guy because he's good? Or are you going to be one of those low-end people who tries to do anything he can to save $2 today? And you might have an extra $2 today, but what are you going to have tomorrow? See? You're going to have to keep cheating people tomorrow. So you're better off just doing the best job you know how to do, even if you're an employee somewhere. Now, it's the same thing for an employee. You can do the least amount of work possible and get paid, and you get home and you think, oh, wow, I got paid and all I did was just this and this and this. I didn't do very much and I still got paid, so that's what I'm going to keep doing. Or you can be a high-end employee, a valuable employee who does things that nobody asks you to do. You just see something that needs doing and you do it. This wire hanging out of the wall, nobody told you to put that wire back in the wall where it belongs. You're just going to do it because it needs to be done. There's a mess here that needs cleaned up. I'm a carpenter. I don't clean up stuff. The other guy cleans stuff. Well, I'm going to do that anyway because sooner or later somebody's going to notice that I'm doing things without being asked to do. That's called being a self-starter. And there are people who I can say, okay, do this and this and this, and I can leave. And I know when I get back, it's going to be done, and it's going to be done right. They're going to do exactly what I told them to do. And if they see something that needed done other than that, they'll go ahead and do it. There are other people who I have to stay there with them all the time. I don't like that. I have other things to do. I have other things I need to be doing. I have other houses that I'm building. I have other things, business going on. And I have places that I have to go speak. I have church events. I have all kinds of other things to do. And so I don't like being there, having to act like a babysitter and watch the workers so that they're not stealing from me and they're not breaking things and they're not just doing things haphazardly. So those are the people who are never going to get paid more than the minimum. But the people who I can say, okay, I want you to put the ceiling in, I want you to do everything, do the corners, and then put up the crown molding, and when I come back, it's going to be done, it's going to be done right. That's the guy that's going to get hired again and again and again and again and again. He's going to do all my houses, and I'm going to pay him twice as much as I do the other guy that I have to watch all the time. So if you want to be successful in business, don't pretend like it's up to somebody else, because it's not up to somebody else. It's up to you, and it's what you decide that you're going to do. Especially if you're a Christian. You have to do the best job that you can because you're working for God. You're not working for me. So That's a choice you have to make inside yourself. Are you going to be the low end kind of guy that cuts every corner and tries to cheat people and tries to save, 50 cents every time you can? Or are you going to do the best job you can every time and end up getting paid more? There are people in the United States right now that get paid 300 US dollars an hour that have never been to college because they know how to do a trade, they know how to do something, and every time they get the opportunity to do that, they're going to do it absolutely the best way they know how to do it. And when I take something to them and I say, I want you to do this and this and this and fix this and do that and put this over here, I know when they're done, it's going to be perfect. I know that. And that's why I will pay that man 300 US dollars for 1 hour's work. That's 5 US dollars for 1 minute. But that's because I can trust him and I know he's going to do a good job. He's going to do exactly what I told him to do. He's going to do exactly how I told him to do it. And when he gets done, it's going to be perfect. That's why I pay him that kind of money. So whether you want to be successful or not is not up to somebody else. It's up to you. So you have to look at yourself in the mirror and decide what you're going to do. I'm going to do this. I'm not going to do that. I don't want to be that kind of person, or, I'll settle for whatever I can get. That's inside you. That's a choice that you have to make.